Today you will learn how you have to adjust your stroke for different kind of shots in pool. We will talk about the bridge length, how far you actually have to pull back, and also how far you have to follow through the cue ball. To demonstrate you the different kind of strokes, we will play this 9-ball rack together here. I'm also wearing my GoPro and I want you to just concentrate in this lesson on the type of stroke we're using. Alright, let's start from the 1-ball to the 2-ball. First of all, if the object ball and the cue ball are very close together like they are here, you definitely want to shorten your bridge length. It would make no sense to be really far away because that way you will lose a lot of control. So whenever the cue ball and the object ball are very close to each other, then you also want to shorten your bridging length. And here in this case, for example, we also don't need a lot of action on the cue ball. We just want to stun over them. So we also, besides the short bridging length, we don't want to pull back all the way and we don't want to follow through until here. No, we don't need to move the cue ball a lot. We don't need a lot of action or speed on the cue ball. That's why on shots like this, we're using a short bridge length. We're just doing tiny pre-strokes or tiny backswings. And then hopefully you can see that in the GoPro, then all we do is just follow through a tiny bit. So whenever you don't need a lot of action, keep everything very short and compact. Okay, now on the next shot, we want to get pretty much straight on the free ball. Free ball is not in front of the pocket, would make things a bit easier. So we actually have to bring the cue ball into that area here. As you can see here, we definitely need a bit of more action on the cue ball because we want to stun over, maybe use a touch of left spin, bring the cue ball towards here. So in this case, having that short bridge length and those tiny strokes wouldn't be ideal. So in this case, I'm going back a bit further. I'm doing a bit bigger backswing, and also I'm going to follow through a bit more. Not maximum, we're far away from maximum because we don't want to bring the cue ball all around the table, a couple of rails. So here I'm resting my bridge hand on the table. You can see those are my backswings. Now just concentrate on how far I'm actually going back with the cue. It's not that far, something like that. And I'm also not going to follow through maximum amount. Maybe I could have done a bit more, but we're still in a very good position. Here would have been ideal, but that's fine. So here, this kind of shot, I want to just bring the cue ball into the rail a bit out that I can reach it because I'm a left-handed player. So here, again, I'm not going to do anything crazy, not going to do super large backswings and following through. That would make no sense. So here, just have a look. I'm regulating my speed. By the way, whenever you have to regulate the speed, you are very likely or very often you just do this with the amount of your backswing. The further you are going back, the more likely or the easier it is to generate more power on the cue ball. So just have a look at this. Again, this is a bit shorter than before because I don't want to do a lot. You can see not a lot, just a very simple shot or a very compact stroke again. Now, this is difficult because of that 6-ball. So we want to bring the cue ball into this area here. We maybe could go with inside spin, bringing the cue ball around like this, but the 7-ball is interfering and the 8-ball is interfering, so I don't want to risk that. Instead, we're trying to play low left, bring the cue ball towards here, towards there, and then end with a nice shot on the 5-ball. So for that, I need to manipulate the cue ball because I want to bring the cue ball into the opposite direction of its natural path. So I definitely have to use a bit of a larger backswing here and also follow through a bit more because I need to get a lot of backspin and left spin on the cue ball. So again, let's have a look at the type of stroke that I'm using. I like to use a close bridge here, trying to bring the cue ball well in this area here and then nicely towards the 5-ball. So have a look. Of course, this would be not perfect to be that close, so I'm going a bit further away, like that. Of course, you also don't want to be super far away, because the further away means also you will lose accuracy. You can see if your arm is a bit wiggly or not perfect, then it's not ideal. So the closer you are in general, the more control you have and the less wiggle you will have in your arm. Okay, enough talking, let's finally play the shot. Well, we didn't follow through nicely. We hit the rail a bit too far here. My plan was to actually hit here and pass the 9-ball here, but this turned out pretty nicely. We have a great shot on the 5-ball. And here again, I'm just going to roll it in really soft, leave a bit of an angle on the 6-ball. So I'm not going to follow through super far. Just going to roll it in. Give ourselves a nice angle on the 6-ball. This is perfect. Maybe even a bit more angle, would have been a bit more natural. Now I want to bring the cue ball further down, passing the 8-ball, and then wherever we are, we will have a shot on the 7-ball. All we don't want to do is end up straight. So of course I could try to bring the cue ball all the way here, because then I could go nicely into the line of the 8-ball, but I don't want to risk that. That wouldn't make sense. With ball in hand, I would place the cue ball here, but I don't want to risk getting straight or maybe even ending here. That's why I'm just going for this area and use another type of shot from the 7 to the 8-ball. So again, concentrate on the type of stroke that I'm using. Alright, this looks nice. Have enough angle on the 7-ball. So here I'm just going to roll it in. Of course, what I could do still is use some right spin, go from here into that rail and then towards the 8-ball, but you need to use inside spin for that, and you're not that close to the 7-ball, so you actually might miss the shot if you're using inside spin. So I wouldn't recommend to do this. That's why I'm just going to follow with maybe a touch of left spin here. Again, concentrate on my stroke. Okay, this looks nice. In the best case, we are straight on the 8-ball, which we are, so this was a perfect shot. And here again, just want to draw, well, a tiny bit back. If you just want to play a stop shot, then I would not need to follow through that much. If I want to draw, I'm just following through a bit more, just pulling back a bit more, and then we should have a nice shot on a 9-ball. So again, concentrate on my stroke. And in the best case, again, we have a straight in 9-ball, which we have, so this was perfect. And here again, don't need a lot of action. I don't want to draw the cue ball anywhere. So again, I'm going to use a bit of a more compact stroke. You see my bridge length is a bit shorter this time. I don't want to follow through that much. Just going to shoot that in real quick. You can see how short everything was this time. Of course, the usual things like staying down on the shot, having a solid bridge hand, nothing wiggles, be rock solid on the shot, delivering the cue in a straight line like this, those things do always stay the same no matter what shot you're facing.
By the way, if you want to get me something for Christmas, not that I'm asking for, but just in case if you want to, then all you have to do is just subscribe to the channel and ring the bell notification. This helps me making more and more videos for you. If you have any questions, leave a comment, leave a like. That's it for today. So thanks for watching, guys, and as always, see you at the next lesson. Take care.